How does bye week strategy impact fantasy football kicker volatility? Imagine a game where one missed kick can swing your whole week. That's how unpredictable kickers can be in fantasy football. Their scores jump around from week to week, making planning essential. When you think about it, each NFL team has one bye week during the season. If your kicker's team is on a bye, you won't get any points from that position unless you have a backup ready. This creates a big challenge because kicker points depend on field goals, extra points, and how the game flows, which can all change quickly. So, managing bye weeks well is key to avoiding sudden drops in your kicker's points. One way to handle this is by spreading out your players' bye weeks. If your kicker's bye falls in week 6, try to have other key players on different weeks. This way, you won't lose all your points from your kicker at once. Having a backup kicker with a different bye week can also help. If your main kicker is on bye, you can swap in your backup and keep your points steady. This reduces the chance of a 0-point week hurting your overall score. Another tactic is roster depth. Keeping a spare kicker on your bench or being quick to pick up kickers from the waiver wire during bye weeks can make a big difference. Kickers are often interchangeable, so if one isn't available, you can grab another based on matchups or form. This flexibility helps smooth out the volatility caused by bye weeks. In drafts, some managers avoid picking multiple players with the same bye week. But kicker bye weeks are less of a concern because they're easier to replace. Still, ignoring bye weeks altogether can lead to a week with no points from your kicker, which increases scoring swings. In formats like traditional redraft leagues, bye weeks can cause noticeable dips in points if not managed. But in best ball leagues, where your lineup is set for the whole season, a 0 in 1 week isn't as big a deal. The key is active management, streaming kickers based on matchups and bye weeks. This way, you can keep your scoring consistent and avoid big drops. If you don't plan ahead, a missing kicker in a bye week can cause your weekly scores to fluctuate wildly. Because kickers tend to have lower ceilings than other players, losing even a moderate score can be costly. So, good bye week planning helps keep your kickers scoring stable. It's about making sure you have options and aren't caught off guard. In the end, bye week strategy impacts kicker volatility because it forces you to deal with 0-point weeks unless you plan carefully. Managing roster depth, spreading out bye weeks, and using waiver wire pickups all help reduce the risk of scoring drops. Since kickers are naturally more unpredictable, handling their bye weeks smartly keeps your weekly points more consistent. That's why paying attention to bye week planning is an important part of managing your kicker and keeping your team competitive all season long.